2026 is going to be the year everything changes for you. I know that might sound like the typical New Year hype advice, but hear me out, because what I'm about to share with you isn't about another diet plan or another fresh start or another promise to be better. This is about something so much deeper. This is about the woman you're becoming. And if you're someone who's been stuck in the same cycle with your food and body, I'm talking about the Sunday night binges, the Monday morning promises, the constant mental chatter about what you should or shouldn't eat. Well, then this 4-part series is going to change everything for you, because 2026 isn't just another year, it's the year you finally step into who you're meant to be. The woman who trusts herself around food, who feels calm, confident in her body, who doesn't spend her mental energy obsessing over every bite. And she's already inside of you, and over the next 4 weeks, I'm going to show you exactly how to become her. So here's what we're going to be doing together. This is part 1 of my Get Ready for 2026 series, and each week I'm going to walk you through a different piece of your transformation. And today we're talking about the woman you're becoming, the identity shift that needs to happen that will change everything. Next week I will share the food freedom foundation you need to build before anything else can work. Then week 3 we're going to get specific about breaking the Sunday night binge cycle once and for all. And in our final week of this series, I will give you 3 non-negotiables that will determine whether 2026 is different or just more of the same as it was in the past. Plus, I've created something special for you, a complete binge-free 2026 starter kit with everything you need to implement what we're covering. And I will let you know at the end how to get it. But first, let's talk about her, the woman you're becoming. The problem with New Year, New Me. Here's what I used to do every December. I'd make a list of everything that I wanted to change. Lose weight, stop emotional eating, meal prep every Sunday, work out 5 times a week. And I would tell myself, this time will be different. This time I will have the willpower, the discipline, whatever. But by February, I was back to hiding the food packages and promising myself I would start over on Monday. And here's what I didn't understand. You can't create lasting change by trying to force yourself into new behaviors. Real transformation happens when you become the type of person who naturally does those things. It's not about having more discipline, it's about shifting your identity. And this is where most of us get it backwards. We think we need to act our way into a new identity, but actually we need to think our way into new actions. Let me paint you a picture of the woman you're becoming in 2026. She wakes up in the morning and doesn't immediately think about food. She's not planning her meals or calculating every calorie for the day or feeling guilty about what she ate yesterday. She trusts her body. When she's hungry, she eats. When she's satisfied, she stops. It's that simple. And she doesn't have good days or bad days with food. She just has days with food. And when she's stressed, she doesn't automatically reach for food. She has other tools. Maybe she goes for a walk, calls a friend, or sits with the feeling for a moment. She looks in the mirror and sees a woman that she respects, not because her body is perfect, but because she treats herself with kindness and compassion. She shows up for herself in her life fully. She doesn't avoid photos or put off plans until she loses that weight or feels that confident. She's present right now in the body that she has. And here's the beautiful part. She's not obsessed with food because she doesn't need to be. Food is just food. It nourishes her, sometimes it brings her joy, but it doesn't control her life. Let me get even more specific about what her life looks like. She goes to restaurants and orders what sounds good to her, not what she thinks she should have. She doesn't spend hours on the drive home feeling guilty or planning how to make up for it tomorrow. She keeps chocolate in her house and doesn't think about it all day. It's just there if she wants it, but she doesn't feel compelled to just eat all of it just because it exists. She handles work stress without automatically opening the pantry. She's developed other ways to decompress that actually work better than food ever did. She wears clothes that fit her body now, not the body that she thinks she will have or should have. And she looks good in them because confidence is the best accessory. This woman isn't some fantasy version of you. She's who you are already underneath all the diet culture programming, food rules, the shame, the guilt. But now the question is, how do you shift your identity? How do you become that woman? Well, it starts with understanding this. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. When you eat when you're hungry instead of when the clock says it's time, you're voting for the woman who trusts her body. When you speak to yourself with compassion after a difficult moment with food, instead of with criticism, you're voting for the woman who treats herself with kindness. When you choose to feel your emotions instead of eating them away, you're voting for the woman who has other coping tools. Small actions, daily votes. That's how the identity shifts happen. But here's what I want you to understand about this process. It's not about perfection, it's about direction. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You don't need to vote perfectly every single time. You just need to vote more often for the woman you are becoming versus the woman you used to be. I remember exactly the moment I knew I was becoming her. I was going with my mom for some work stuff, like she has a, like a sports shop. So we went to the brand representatives to buy the clothes for the next season. And yeah, they always had some snacks on the table, like chocolates and all. And I remember in the past, I would always like eat more and more and feel kind of guilty for eating too many. And there, when I was there was that chocolate on the table that I used to send me in panic. But that day, I looked at it and I thought, well, I could have some of it if I want or not. Either way, it's fine. And I was eating 2-3 pieces and I was completely satisfied. I didn't feel like, oh, I need more. And it didn't feel that internal battle. No negotiation with myself, no planning to restrict the next day. And that is when I knew I wasn't the woman who struggled with food anymore. I was the woman who had food freedom. But that moment didn't happen overnight. It was the result of thousands of small votes I've been casting for myself over months. Every time I had a cookie without following it with an entire bag of cookies, I was voting for the woman who can have just enough, who is happy with one piece of chocolate, one cookie, whatever. And every time I spoke to myself like I would speak to a friend, I was voting for the woman who treats herself with kindness. Now I want to share something with you that I've never talked about before, on here at least, the 3 levels of identity transformation that every woman goes through on this journey. Level 1, the awareness stage. This is where you start to notice your patterns without judgment. You become aware of the Sunday night binges, the emotional eating triggers, the negative self-talk. But you're not trying to change anything yet. You're just observing. And this stage is crucial because you can't change what you're not aware of. Most women want to skip this stage and jump straight into action, but awareness is the foundation of everything. Then level 2, the experimentation stage. This is where you start trying new things. Maybe you experiment with eating when you're hungry instead of when it's time. Maybe you try to speak to yourself more kindly. Maybe you practice sitting with emotions without immediately reaching for food. This stage can feel so messy because you're learning. Some experiments work, some don't, but every experiment is data about who you are becoming. And I actually in the previous video talked about that messy middle stage of healing, so be sure to check it out. And now moving on to level 3, the integration stage. This is where the new behaviors become natural. You don't have to think about trusting your body. You just do. You don't have to remember to be kind to yourself. It is automatic. This is where that moment at that table with the chocolate happened to me. I wasn't trying to be the woman who had food freedom. I just was her. Most women think they should be able to jump straight to level 3, but transformation doesn't work that way. You have to move through each stage, and each stage has its own timeline. The beautiful thing is that you don't have to do this alone, and you don't have to figure it out by trial and error like I did. So here's what I want you to do. First, get really clear on who you are becoming. Not what you want to achieve, but who you want to be. Write it down. I'm the woman who, and fill in the blanks. I'm the woman who trusts her body. I'm the woman who eats without guilt. I'm the woman who feels calm around food. Whatever feels true to you. And then start voting for her with your action. Not perfectly, not at all at once, but consistently. And when you catch yourself in old patterns, don't shame yourself. Just ask, what would the woman I'm becoming do right now? Then do that thing. Because here's what I know for sure. She's already inside of you. The woman who feels free around food, who trusts her body, who shows up fully in her life. And 2026 is the year you let her out. Now I know some of you are thinking, this sounds amazing, Sarah, but how do I actually do this? How do I make this identity shift real? And that is exactly why I created the Nourish Method. The Nourish Method is my 16-week program that takes you exactly through this transformation, from the woman who struggles with food to the woman who feels completely free around it. It's designed for high-achieving women who are tired of the binge-restrict cycle and ready to finally feel calm and confident in their bodies without dieting, without food guilt, and without perfectionism. Whether you want to go through the program independently with the self-study option or personalized coaching and support from me throughout this transformation, the Nourish Method gives you the complete roadmap for becoming the woman we talk about today. So for more details, check out the link down below. But for now, becoming this woman isn't just about mindset. You need the practical foundation to support this identity shift. And that is exactly what we're covering in part 2 of this series next week, the food freedom foundation you need for 2026. I'm going to walk you through the 3 pillars that have to be in place before any lasting change can happen. And trust me, this isn't what you think. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss it. And remember the Binge-Free 2026 starter kit that I mentioned at the beginning? Well, it includes the identity shift journal prompts, a daily voting tracker, belief rewiring exercises, and everything else you need to start becoming her right now. So you can grab it down below, completely free. The link is in the description. But before you go, I want to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, what is one thing the woman you are becoming does differently than you do now? Don't overthink it, just one thing, because naming it is the first word for who you're becoming. So I will see you next week for part 2, where we are building your food freedom foundation. Until then, remember, she's already inside of you, and 2026 is just the year you let her shine.